Well, today is June 9th, and this marks exactly 6 months since I started Refold. I study Japanese, and I kind of wanted to make this video to document, I guess, the journey, so at least have something that I can look back onto, not really to persuade you into using Refold. So I've made a little fucking shitty list, let's stick to it. I hope I don't have to cut too much out of this video. How I found Refold, or why I use it. I recently, with the corona pandemic going on, I had a lot more time, and I decided to pick up Japanese again. And I did a 2K, 6K card deck, 2K, 6K optimized Japanese vocabulary. I started doing that before November. I feel like it must have been October, November, somewhere between there. Like an hour a day. Just put in 20 new words, which weren't actually 20 new words. It was 10 words, I guess, because they have 2 sides, sometimes even more. And I saw Met vs. Japan's video, obviously. And one day I finally decided I would just go right into the immersion approach and started on December 9th. Can't even speak English yet. How am I gonna learn Japanese? Yeah. And why I choose it is it's pretty obvious, but it wasn't obvious at the time. But when you really think about it, English is obviously my second language. I'm not native in English, which you can clearly hear. But it's at a level where I'm pretty comfortable speaking it. I think I could convey pretty much any idea I have that I would have in my native tongue, German, and put it out there. And I didn't reach this level because of school. Well, partly because of school, but I would say 90 to 80% were because they're just immersed in games and literature, just immersion, And I remember distinctively an event in my childhood. I was pretty fucking bad at English at first. I used to get F's, 5s. Yeah, I was pretty fucking bad in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, which is 6th grade, 7th grade for Americans. I found British people on there. And well, I didn't really get the concept, but then I started watching English YouTube. I was a 12, 13-year-old kid, and I started watching anime, and most of the anime don't have German subtitles. You just would watch the English subtitles, and it's the best you get. It's the best you could get, right? Yeah. And I did that, and I rapidly became becter in English. It just exploded. My vocabulary went up by, I don't know, 300, 400%, something like that. And since then I've been in my class I was always someone who would be at the top, at least speaking wise. It's been a long time since then. I'm currently a student. Again, have a lot of free time. That way Refold actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I just think back to that, and honestly, I don't understand why it didn't occur to me before that, before Met vs. Japan's video, but yeah, obviously it's just immersion, dude. It's just immerse into the material you have ready. Have at the ready. I started learning Japanese, I think it's 6 or 7 years ago, pretty much. It really just, I didn't really focus. I was not really invested. I did it here and there. I got this book, Christmas 2015, if I remember correctly. which translates, this book translates to something like Japanese on the double, like to get to the Japanese on the double speed. 2013 actually, goddamn. So it's been like fucking, what, 8 years? Yeah. And I learned kana and hiragana through this book, and some kanji, right, like a few. But I really I didn't actively study it, like maybe 10 minutes a day, like for a year maybe, or for 3 months, and then I stopped completely. Then I stopped completely. I came to college. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I think 3 or 4 years ago, I did Mino no Nihongo books. Mino no Nihongo. So like, goddamn, dude, so confused. Mino no Nihongo 1 and 2, and I did those pretty consistently. I would say I would do like an hour a day for like 6 months, 7 months, somewhere around that ballpark. And yeah, and then I just dropped it again, like, I don't know. I didn't immerse at those times, you know, never did. And yeah, recently the pandemic hit, and I had a lot more free time that I could use. So I just said, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up. Started that 2K, 6K vocabulary deck, and now I'm doing Mia, Refold, AJATT, whatever you want to call it. At this point, it has so many acronyms I can't even, keep up anymore. So, what did I do? Starting December 9th, I started doing RRTK. I did 25 cards every day. At the beginning it was pretty easy, I would say, because again, I've had some background knowledge about some kanji, like I would say 100 or 200 kanji I've already known from these books that I've did. Textbooks that I did, yeah. And I would do 25 cards a day. I skipped like 3 days over the years, I think, but other than that, I pretty much did it consistently throughout December, January, and starting February, I started the SRS, Space Repetition sentences. During the time I did RRTK, I watched a lot of Terrace House. I watched a lot of VTubers too, which I still do now. I think it's a great passive immersion tool at the ready. You always can just... Somebody's always streaming, Doesn't have to be a VTuber, just Japanese streams. And after that, beginning February 1st, I started doing SRS. Like, I started with like 10 sentences a day, added 1 sentence to that every day. So like first day 11, 12, 13, 14, so on. So pretty fast I got like to 25 sentences a day. I still did my RRTK upkeep, and every new kanji I found in the SRS I would add to the RRTK. Just make a new definition for them. And also used another deck which is called All-in-One Kanji, which is look up the word, move it to the recognition RTK. And right now I have 1,800 words, 1,900 kanji, which is like, so I've added like 550 new kanji, and I still do that every day. So at the SRS I started watching a lot more anime. Fuck, my pen just flew away. The thing the anime I mind the most would have been Pakuto Test, or Suikansu, something like that. Haruhi Suzumiya no Yutsu, yeah. And yeah, various anime, pretty much anything you can think of. From Slice of Life to, did Fruit Basket, I did Tsuritsuru Children, Maosho no Oyasumi, Maosho de Oyasumi, more studios and stuff like that. Various things, varying degrees of difficulty. And yeah, I did that through February, March, April, and halfway through May I started the monolingual transition, which is I've been doing now for like 20 days, something like 20 days. I haven't transitioned to the monolingual completely, but I would say like 25, like from the 25 sentences I add every day, like 22, 23 are monolingual. I would also recommend doing these slowly, monolingual transition. There's a lot of dictionary vocabulary that's you don't encounter it anywhere else. Honestly, it's literally dictionary vocabulary. You don't find these words anywhere else, and I guess you really just have to get used to it. I still find myself sometimes confused at how like it is worded, because it's just a different way. It's a dictionary definition. Obviously, it's different. Yeah. Currently experimenting with Morphman, something like it. I think it's called a deep dive. They call it a deep dive. And yeah, just like watching one anime over and over again. And like Morphman actually gives you like the cards. It thinks you don't know and gives you cards. If I could change one thing, if I could go back for these first 2 months, it would be I would actually do RTK with not English words or phrases, but with German words and phrases. I think those stick a lot better if you do it in your native tongue. You don't have to change the whole deck, just translate it to something that is like appropriate, comes pretty close to the original. Because sometimes I would have like weird words that I've never heard in my 10, 12 years of learning English, not actively, but and it would confuse me a lot. So future plans, I want to finish monolingual transition well, as much as possible, as much as it is required for like new words and stuff. Sometimes you don't need a dictionary definition for a word if it's like an easy word like red ball or Earth, the planet Earth. I don't think I would need a dictionary definition for that word. I wouldn't make one. Yeah, I'm just going forward. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I think we're gonna make like an update video in like 3 or 6 months again, so 9 and 12 month mark respectively. Yeah, just keep immersion. Just keep immersing. Goddamn, dude. Maybe I should immerse. Maybe I should immerse more in English. Yeah, but I'm just gonna keep that going forward. I've actually started tracking my immersion. It's not too different from what I was expecting. Before then, I didn't track it at all, like these Excel sheets. I just thought like every minute of the day, or thought like if I have free time, if I'm cooking, if I'm doing something for university that I'm not actively have to concentrate on, like making AJATT for for my lectures, I would just always immerse. Every 3 minutes I would immerse, and every 3 minutes when I wouldn't actually work, I would just immerse, passively and actively, listening or to like VTubers, anime, news podcasts, something like that, or read like subtitles from a show. Yeah, so I started tracking this, and it comes around to like 7 to 8 hours a day, in which I do immersion and Anki. So if I do like an hour and a half every day of Anki, so if you subtract that, I guess it's like 6.5 hours of active, and 6.5 hours of active immersion actually, yeah. And plus like, I don't know, like 2-3 hours of passive immersion. So all together it comes around like Anki, the passive, and the active immersion all comes to about like 10 hours in a day, which I found was pretty good because I learned like, I don't know, like 4 to 5 hours a day for university. So, there's not lots of time not spent, I think. Not spent well. Not spent efficiently. Yeah. What I use right now is just anime, VTubers, a lot of VTubers. They're just always, available. Like somebody's always streaming. Doesn't actually have to be VTubers. It's just streamers, especially playing games or collaborations. Especially, I think are very interesting because you get at least like 2 people talking natively to each other while performing a task of playing the game. Yeah. Let me see. Maybe I don't. I don't think I could immerse much more. I'm gonna try to do it as much as I can. Obviously, it's pretty hard to I have to do stuff for university and I can't immerse while doing that. I'm very thankful for Met Japan and or Refold, the Refold community. They're great, honestly. Also the IT community. It's like one of the best tools I've used up till now in my life, I feel like. Yeah. I'm not going to persuade. I'm not going to persuade you into doing the Refold method, but if you want to learn a language, I would highly recommend that you check out the Refold roadmap. Refold roadmap. I'll link it in the description. I always love it when like YouTubers do this, like in the description. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I don't do a lot of actual reading. I think I should improve that. Like I did a little bit of like, and the NHK Easy news, and I started picking up Konosuba like 2 or 3 months ago, and GJB, I don't know how they pronounce it, Gejibu, something like that. Started reading that, but I've never really. It's tedious. It's truly tedious for me. I'd rather just watch a show and get like the added audio. Like there's 2 ways to catch like new vocabulary, I feel like. Also, if I think back to how I learned English, I never really read like at all. Like maybe 2 or 3 books a year in English. That's not a lot, Yeah. So maybe I'm gonna try to improve that, but I'm gonna see about that. Other than that, I don't have really anything going. I don't really have like any big plans. Just keep immersion, keep the immersion up, keep immersing. God damn it. Yeah. Maybe gonna take the JLPT test in like a year, 1.5 years from now. Not sure about that. Doesn't really matter, right? Like nobody's gonna look for that. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I highly recommend doing Refold if you're learning any language at all. Immersion is key. It truly is. And that's it. See you. Till next time. Hopefully, not too lazy with the video.